Welcome to Coach, a global community for coaching mastery.
Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Coach, Global Community for Coaching Mastery, where we together dive into what it takes to really be a masterful coach and coach with mastery. Today we have a very special guest. Why? Because this coach is someone who is established already for quite a few years here in the UAE, in Dubai, and globally as well. Jasmine Navarro. She is an award-winning family and educational well-being expert, and I'm reading this because I honestly, with Jasmine, I could be reading for the next 10 minutes her background. Honestly, you achieved so much because obviously you've been coaching for a long time, but let me continue. She's also the author of Creative Confidence Program, Self-Identity for Teens. And this is something we'll dive into deeper. Speaker and trainer. Jasmine is also the founder of Nava, a coaching company focused on helping teenagers and adults flourish. Now, Jasmine, you have been coaching for a while now. And because coaching is quite a new profession, uh, coaching for so many years already, what's it like to be a professional coach in Dubai today?
Hi, Leo. Thank you so much for having me. What's it like? I mean, it has its ups and downs. I mean, I really love coaching here. I mean, obviously I do a lot of work online, so it's not just in Dubai. But what's it like coaching in Dubai? I think wherever I coach, online in another country or here, it always depends on, on the person. But so I don't know if for me, if there's a massive difference between, where I'm coaching. I think it's all about who I'm coaching. Yeah, it's all about who I'm coaching. And I absolutely love it because, like, as you know, as a professional coach yourself, we're always learning about ourselves and helping ourselves in the whole process. So it's, it's the best job I've ever done, really.
Yeah. Coaching, I agree. It's such an impactful profession. It's very fulfilling, but it's also maybe a tougher environment to be in. Now, I'm curious about the coaching environment in general. How is coaching accepted compared to 2019, where you started coaching, and 2024 that we are today? So we went through COVID, we went through all these challenges locally and globally. How has the world changed in accepting, perceiving, or not coaching?
I think probably people seem more open to try coaching, and I think maybe before and maybe still now, actually, people think, they must have a weakness or something wrong with them if they go to see a coach. I think that's changing. That is changing. Like I said, people are more open, but I think it's the stigma is still there a little bit, depending on where you are. Because, for example, in the US, they've been, they've known coaching for so many years, and it's just so normal for them, isn't it? Coaching, therapy. So there is a difference, obviously, but I think people are definitely more open to it now and maybe willing to try and know that it doesn't mean there's something wrong with them.
Yeah, that's great. So how are you going with this? So if you say that people no longer, let's say, think coming to a coach because when something is wrong with them, what are other reasons that people are coming to coaching? You see people coming to coaching today.
Well, I think there's so many reasons, isn't there, to come to a coach. I think maybe, I think a big one is feeling stuck. If you're feeling stuck in one area of your life, you're not sure what to do, I think a lot of people might seek out a coach then. And, and the amazing thing when you do see a coach, you realize that the coach actually isn't going to give you the answers. You're going to find the answers. And it's so empowering just to know that, isn't it? It's not, and that right there tells you that there's nothing wrong with you and you're not missing anything, because actually you do have the answers. You will find the solution yourself. So even the first session, you can realize how empowering it is. But I think, feeling stuck. I work with a lot of a lot of my clients, we work a lot on emotional well-being. For me, that's like my passion. And that was one of the major things that I learned from coactive. The coactive model was, the power of processing our emotions, acknowledging them, processing them, releasing them, learning from them, seeking their message. For me, that was just life-changing. And so I think I gravitate towards that with my clients as well, because I know how important it is to process our emotions, because, we can suppress our emotions, and that can affect the decisions we make in our life and all of that. So I think emotional well-being is another important subject that I work with in coaching. So feeling stuck, and it's all connected to our emotions anyway, I believe. So, and maybe, people, they don't know where they're going in their life. Maybe they need help setting goals. But again, that's about feeling stuck as well, isn't it? So I think feeling stuck can really be the starting point why people might seek a coach.
Yeah. And I heard the big E, emotions.
Oh, that is a big E. Yeah.
And I'm curious, from your wealth of experience, Jasmine, what makes people believe that this is such a massive problem?
What do you mean? Emotions?
Yes.
Why is it such a problem? What makes people believe it's such a problem? What do you mean? Sorry, I don't understand the question. Sorry, Leo.
No, absolutely. So most people don't touch emotions. They go
Oh,
about
I
their
see.
lives, professional lives especially. We know high achievers. They go about their lives thinking their life,
Oh,
right? And they just
yeah.
don't touch the emotions. They leave it there
Yes,
in the dark cave.
yes,
Not touch.
yes.
Why
Okay,
is
no,
that fear?
good question. Well, I think it is lack of emotional awareness. I mean, and we're so and habits and living on autopilot, we're so used to, if somebody asks us, if they even ask us how you're feeling, saying fine, good, bad, or whatever, and that's it, end of topic. And if anyone actually asks you how you're feeling and you actually started to tell them, that person would probably walk away. I mean, people generally are not that interested. It makes us feel uncomfortable maybe. But for me, that's why it was so powerful. Like I mentioned before, when I took part in the coactive training, and I realized, because we did all these exercises, that I didn't even know I wasn't letting myself feel. And that was just such a huge realization for me. And it's like, well, if I'm not letting myself feel these emotions, what about those emotions? And it just opened up so much for me in terms of learning and new perspectives, and really taking a look at myself. But it was scary and it was uncomfortable. And I think, we don't want to feel those feelings, do we? We don't want to feel uncomfortable. We don't want to feel sad. We don't want to feel afraid. So we tend to just distract ourselves, keep ourselves busy, suppress those emotions, because like I didn't know it was valuable to feel those emotions. I just thought, if I'm feeling something, if I'm feeling uncomfortable or scared or overwhelmed or something, I need to change that immediately, because it's not good. I'm not feeling good, so it can't be good, because I didn't have that emotional awareness. But obviously, after doing the training with coactive and learning about it, I realized, no, actually, you have to feel your feelings, and your body is telling you something, and our body is so intelligent, and we need to use it as a tool that it is, and seek the message, because that will actually help us move forward in our lives. But if you don't know that, if you just think, I'm just going to feel uncomfortable and not very nice and nothing else, then yeah, of course we're going to avoid these emotions. So I think it's lack of awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
Jasmine, with the Creative Confidence Program, is this, how do you use that emotional awareness to help teens especially So I understand this is a self-identity program for teens. How do you use that?
Yeah, I have one for adults as well, but yeah, for the one for teenagers, well, you know, we start, you know, can be a slow process. You know, I don't force anyone to open up. I don't want to share. That is so important. I respect that everybody opens up in their own time if they want to, you know. And I think the key thing actually that I've just said is respect. You know, we've got to show teenagers, everybody respect, especially, you know. So I think I respect them, and, you know, obviously we create the safe space. And if we are talking about emotions always come up, but some workshops in my program just focus on emotions, maybe not the first session, but yeah, of course the first question would be, how are you feeling? And, you know, they will say good, fine, or whatever, but then somebody will open up and say something else. Actually, I'm feeling really anxious today. And it's like, right, that's great, thank you for sharing. And, you know, and then I really make a point of saying there's no positive or negative feelings, there's no right or wrong way, you know, there's no judgment, you know, all of that, really creating that safe space. And we normally look at the feelings wheel, because how many feelings are on that wheel? There's so many. And, you know, it's like, look, these are all the feelings. We could be feeling one of those or a combination. And then, you know, I get them to do exercises where they really, you know, maybe close their eyes, lots of visualizing, close their eyes, try to describe the feeling, you know, where the feeling is, like in process in coactive, you know, really connecting with their body. And, you know, at first it can be like, this is very strange and uncomfortable, but then they will get messages, you know, what's that feeling trying to tell you? You know, we do lots of work like that. And yeah, so that's how we go about that. And of course, it always depends on what they say, and then I would react to what's coming up for them. So every session would be completely different, you know, depending how much or how little they want to open up. Yeah.
So you've been obviously running successfully this program for a while now, with so many group of teenagers. And then I'm curious about the what's the difference with the adult version of that. But from running this program for a while, what were some things that surprised you?
I think how much they do open up, actually, and how much that I've learned from them, and how different. Of course, I know that everybody's different. We're also unique, but you know how their perspective, how each and every one of their perspectives is so different. And, you know, even if you ask them a powerful question, just the things that they come up with, you know, I'm just always blown away. I'm just like, wow, like, how did you come up with that? You know, so I'm always learning from them. And I think, of course, I believe teenagers, they do tend to be more open, but that's just a generalization. But I think, and their willingness to, you know, learn, open, the openness, I would say, has been the most surprising.
It's such a because there's this perception, or there's this urban myth that teenagers are closed, they're pushing the world away, they're in their
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing, in the right, just creating a little safety, a little access
Totally.
and non-judgment, you're able
Totally.
incredible openness.
Yes. Respect. I think it's respect is the key, you know, because obviously I was a teacher for so long before, 20 years. So I think I know how important respect is anyway. But of course, teaching is different from coaching. But yeah, I think respect, and like we said before, respect and kindness goes a long way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I'm curious, you run the same program, Creative Confidence program, with adults as well. What is the difference? What was the fundamental difference, if any?
Thing is, the techniques are the same, really, but the delivery is different. The language I use would be different. And of course, the conversations are different. So really, it's a very similar program, but we're going to have different conversations, and the topics are different because, you know, teenagers will likely talk about certain things, adults will talk about something else. Sometimes it can be quite similar as well, depending on how old the teenagers are. But that's, the techniques are the same, but it's the delivery that's different and the conversations.
So are the adults more or less open than teenagers?
Very good question. Generally, I would say less open, but that's very general. That's very general. But different cultures can be more open than others as well, you know. So, and I guess it would depend on the environment. Like, of course, if it's in a company or something, people tend to not be as open because if they're with their colleagues and things like that. So it does depend, but yeah, in general, because of course children are more open than teenagers are more open than adults, but that's very general. But what normally when one person opens up,
Yeah.
they all do. And sometimes I always open up anyway, because I have to be the model to show them that I can be vulnerable, it's okay. And that normally helps as well, because then you create that trust, don't you?
It's so interesting. So as you're sharing, what came up for me is vulnerability, because there's so much talk about leadership and the importance of authentic leadership lately.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're modeling with your vulnerability, and that's what exactly the prescription is for authentic.
Yes.
Right? So I'm curious, you, again, with your wealth of experience coaching for so long, what are you noticing, let's say, every year or every season, it has its problems or trends, or what would you say are the main, let's say, trends right now? What are people feel like they're lacking, or what is it that they're looking for, especially from your clients? So let's say if a potential client is listening, is watching, and says, "Oh my God, that's me." What are you noticing?
I think what I'm really noticing with a lot of my clients is the lack of fun in their lives. Not a lot of fun, yeah. And maybe, you know, and that's probably because maybe they don't have time, they feel like they don't have time to, you know, work on their social life, meet their friends, because, you know, maybe if it's teenagers, they've got so much study to do, lots of work at school and things like that. If it's adults, it's just work, family life's taken over. And of course, I feel like in general, less connected, more connected to social media, less connected to people in real life. So loneliness. So yeah, so that all comes down to actually the result of all of that is loneliness. Yeah, so loneliness and not knowing how to process emotions. So the stress in both cases, with the teenagers at school, with all of their work, they're quite stressed, under pressure, and then adults with family, work life, they're stressed and pressure. So actually, it's quite interesting, very similar problems between the ages, but for different reasons, but it's the same result, actually.
Jasmine, loneliness is the pandemic, is the new pandemic, is the fear and loneliness.
Oh, yeah.
And if we were to give, again, as coaches, we don't give advice, but what are some, let's say, golden rules maybe that you have for yourself, or that you could share for someone who is feeling lonely, who is feeling stuck? Of course, the first thing would be talk to a professional coach, but what is
Yeah.
it, steps that they can take before that to start?
I think the first thing, which might not be the easiest, is to look after yourself physically, because if you're eating well and exercising, then I think you're going to have more energy. And then if you've got more energy, hopefully that's going to make you take that step and go out and go to that event meet your friend because you're not feeling exhausted. Because if you're stressed out and then you've got a terrible diet and you're not exercising, I mean, you're just going to want to stay home and watch something and eat chocolate. Yeah, have a quick release, stress release. So I think it's about looking after your physical well-being first. Or it could be going for a walk with your friend, because then actually you're doing both, aren't you? I do think it's, for me anyway, this really does make a difference to me, and even my clients, you know, they tend to start exercising and looking after their body as well. They're working on themselves emotionally, but the physical aspect comes in as well, because it's all connected and it's all important, isn't it? Everything we do with our body has a knock-on effect to our lives. So I think that could be an easier way. It's not easy, but that could be easier than dealing with our emotional well-being, the physical first.
Jasmine, we all know this. So the disconnect between I know what to do and I'm not doing.
Well, the thing is, like, that's what people say to me. Like, I go to the gym every single day. Okay, 6 out of 7 times. Maybe one day I don't go. And people say to me, "Oh, you must be so motivated. How do you do it? How do you do it?" And I'm like, because I don't want to feel like crap. That is the motivation. Because if I don't go, I feel absolutely terrible. So for me, that's my motivator. So it's just, you know, yeah, like if I don't go, it's harder for me. So
motivation very well can be, I don't want to feel like crap. That's good enough. It doesn't have to be light bulbs and sparkles and unicorns and rainbows.
no, for me that's the motivator, and that's what makes me eat well as well. I mean, I don't eat well every day. Like at the moment, I've got this chocolate addiction which needs to stop. But but yeah, I think it's about, yeah, not, I don't want to feel like, my friend said that to me, and I literally said, yeah, I don't want to feel like crap. That's it.
That is beautiful and authentic. So what I'm noticing, you just have this incredible, charming and engaging and really magnetic vulnerability.
Oh,
Wow.
thanks, Leah.
Do you not fear judgment of others? What other people going to think of you?
Well, that's a really good question. At this precise moment, I would say I couldn't give a damn at this precise moment. I don't know how I'll feel tomorrow, but right now, that's how I feel. I think, you know, with all the coaching, all the therapy, you know, how much we judge ourselves, when you can really start realizing that, then you really care less what other people think of you. Yeah.
And what's life like when you don't care what others think of you?
I'm not saying I don't care all the time.
Caring in the sense of you're not fearing you, or it doesn't make you feel small, it doesn't limit you, you are not worried about it. So obviously in the negative sense.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. It doesn't limit you. So if it doesn't limit you, then you do more. You take more risks, maybe things that you wouldn't normally do, things that you might have been, oh no, I can't do that because that person won't like me. But you start to realize, don't you, that people probably won't like you anyway for something. So you may as well just do the thing. And I think because I work from home quite a lot as well, so I spend time by myself, working online some days. And you realize it's you and you. So the important thing is, you know, the relationship with yourself. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but it's so true. And that's what I'm realizing now. Whenever I have a problem in my life, which of course we all, so many, it always comes back to now is, okay, what do I need to work on now? What do I need to take to my next coach session or my next therapy session? It's not, okay, they've done something wrong, blaming them. It's right, that's triggered me, or I can't do that, or I'm feeling stuck. Okay, I'll take this to my next coach session. It's always about working on ourselves.
Such a massive shift. What about all the stories that we tell ourselves to feel better? Them, they, the economy, the politics, the boss. Wow, what about all those stories? What do we do with them?
I know. No, you're right. You're right. And you can, and I did for years and years and years, blaming the job, blaming other people. But you realize how disempowering that is, and you just live your life the same with the same problems, maybe in a different place, same problem. You're just going round and round and round until you realize that no, what's the thing in common? Me. So it's self-awareness. It all comes back to self-awareness. And that's why I love coaching so much, because without that, well, yeah, we know you don't know what you don't know. And you can just live your life the same mistakes, same experiences, just going round and round. And I just, life's so short, isn't it? It's like, I don't want to go round and round anymore. break it. Do you want that change enough? Do you want it enough? That's what it comes down to. Like we were saying about going to the gym and healthy habits, it's like, do you want it enough? That's the thing. Or do you want to carry on complaining for the next however long? How much do you want it? Because it's not going to be easy. That's the thing. Nothing is easy, is it? Choose your heart.
Yes, but we hear this a lot. Yes, Jasmine, you're right, but the story comes. How do we, what is your way to helping your clients with that? Yes, but.
It's going around, isn't it? It's going stuck in the comfortable comfort zone. So we would,
because the comfort zone, that's the misconception, because the comfortable zone, sometimes the comfortable zone is being miserable.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, probably is. You're stuck, but it's familiar. I mean, yeah, of course. I think so. We've got to find, you want them to have that self-awareness, yeah? Because if they realize, I think if they realize they're in this stuck situation and it's familiar, and they realize it's not serving them, but they choose to carry on, then that's their choice. But it's if they don't realize. So I work with them to help them realize what's going on, the thoughts and the actions, and how they're actually creating this reality. So going into their subconscious, for me, it's visualizing, working with the body, visualizing and processing the emotions. What are the emotions? What's the message? And then visualizing, where do you see yourself? What are you doing? All of those exercises, I think, are really, really powerful. They're the exercises that really helped me learn more about myself. Of course, the questioning and all of that as well. But for me, it's really talking to the subconscious, because you can talk to somebody, can't you, for hours and hours and not really know what your limiting beliefs are and what's stopping you. But if you listen to your body, talk to your body, you get the answers much faster.
Wow.
And
but I'm sure you've seen that as a professional coach. So many people understand that. They say, yeah, you're right, but they don't start doing the work because they are afraid that they're going to feel so much regret. So what I hear sometimes is people saying, well, I don't want to do this work because I don't want to feel like I've wasted half of my life for nothing. And they just carry on with the same.
Well, I mean, there's so many things there. Then, you'd say, well, because we do that, don't we? We do that with friendships as well, and jobs. It's like, well, I've been here for so long. I put so much effort and energy into this. It's hard because we never know the future, but it's like, how much do you want that change? And do you want to keep doing? We get trapped in that, don't we? We want to carry on because we've put so much effort into it. Again, it would be going to the subconscious and asking questions about, you know, what, I don't know what's keeping you there, what you're afraid. It's hard to say now. It would depend on lots of things with the client, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer. That's the thing. There's no easy answer. And
It's-
how much do you want the change?
That is the answer, that the answers, there's no golden pill.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
And I would say, because you could say the pros and cons making the decision, but I think you've got to find out what the limiting beliefs are. That's the first. You've got to go deep with that one. You've got to go deep because there's something deep there. Because that's what I'm working on myself, actually, you know.
And Jasmine, I know you always are going deep. You talk a lot about the subconscious, going deep, the limiting beliefs. And I know you always work on exciting projects. I'd like to share a little bit more about the work that you do with going deep, working with the subconscious, working with limiting beliefs. And because it sounds like it's transformational, truly transformational, when you help someone really become aware and change those deep rooted beliefs.
Yeah, what I've had quite a few RTT therapy sessions. You know, Marissa Peer, she's the creator of RTT therapy, and that's been an amazing experience as well, because it's all about hypnosis and going to the past, where coaching we focus more on the present and future, don't we? So I think going back to the past as well can really help. I think coaching is like an introduction to this self-awareness and is really powerful, but I think also going to the past is equally as powerful. So yes, I would just recommend working on yourself, however that works for you, like trying different things, trying maybe RTT therapy or other modalities. There's so many. Coaching, I think we've got the answers anyway. And even saying this to you now, I'm thinking it's empowering me now, because I've got decisions to make, like all of us, and I'm feeling stuck. But now I'm thinking, yeah, I do have the answers. I do have the answers. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. But so yeah, that's an exciting project that I'm working on. You know, we're delivering Marissa Peer's challenge in the schools in the UAE and abroad as well. So that's a really exciting project that I'm working on, because I really, that's my passion, working with younger children, because the younger we have these tools and techniques, I believe the better. So coaching, RTT therapy, other modalities, I think anything to help us gain self-awareness.
Yeah.
To start with.
And so you're embracing so many different modalities of coaching outside of that. It sounds like you've grown immensely your toolkit to help and support people. And I'm curious, what is it like to coach with you for a client, for somebody who's watching this and say, oh my God, you know, you're speaking to me right now. I am in that place of being stuck, or feeling like there's no hope, or feeling like life goes round and round again. What would it be like for them to coach with you?
It's a journey. Come along for the ride. It's a ride, I guess. Well, you know how it is. Yeah, like I said, you know, every session is different, you know, depending on who I'm working with, what they're going through at that particular time. It's a ride, isn't it? Like it's a ride of ups and downs, and yeah, and it will be uncomfortable. It will be amazing. There'll be lots of learning. It will be emotional, you know, all of those things, but you will be leading the way and I will be there. That's it. So yeah, I think that sums it up. Yeah.
And I love how you from the get-go, even the way you describe that, you will be leading the way. There is so much belief it's almost like you're giving a down payment of belief. I always talk about down payments of hope, down payment of belief.
Oh, wow.
You're already putting a down payment of belief into your clients.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. That's, yeah, self-belief. And then you see that their self-belief grows. I mean, not all my clients lack self-belief, but a lot do actually. Yeah. And you see it growing. They see it growing. Mm.
And isn't it surprising? So once clients are, maybe going through a coaching journey with you, I'm sure you receive this texts months and years after, them informing you about their continuous growth. Just curious, of course, we hold confidentiality. What are some most incredible things, and incredible can be very small things, that your clients have created in their lives as a result of coaching?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. There was one adult who I was working with, and actually from the first session, her life changed. I mean, I don't have many like that. The first session, of course, there is a change, but with her, everything changed. The power of processing for her. Normally, I don't do processing in the first session, but with her, I just knew that it was right to do, and it completely changed her life, because she was actually, she's dyslexic, and I've worked with lots of neurodiverse students as well, and I don't know if this is true, but very, very visual, and they could seem to be able to process in a second, where like I take quite a while to process. I guess it depends, but anyway, she could process feelings in a second. It was, we would do it and it's like, wow, like she had a real gift with this, and her visual, like she could see everything in so much detail, and we realized this in the first session. So every session we would do visualizing and processing, because it was just, for her, it was so transformational. And yeah, and she created so many characters. We have allies in coaching. She created so many, and still now she writes me emails telling me about all these characters. Oh, I was at the dentist today, and normally she would be so scared of the dentist, but I pulled out this character, and she would explain in detail the conversation she had with the character. So she just had so many characters. She's got so many characters, and she uses them for all areas of her life. And she's always saying, this is life-changing. Now I have all of these characters. And I would be like, you could write a book with all of this. So with her, that's amazing. And it was in one session.
Wow.
She learned that.
That is incredible. It sounds like she just tapped into different parts of herself, and that's what the inner resources are all about.
Yeah, which were already there. Exactly. And yeah, and teenagers as well, when they realize, the power of positive self-talk. And I don't know if I told you about one teenager I had who couldn't raise her hand in class. She was really scared, getting the answers wrong, and being called stupid. We started doing mirror exercises. What do you say to yourself when you look in the mirror? She started writing post-it notes about words to say to herself. 6 months later, she's organizing the school prom, for 80 people or something. I mean, the confidence, when you just start letting go of all of these limiting beliefs, you become free, don't you? So yeah, that's 2 examples of a teen and an adult, and they just never had the chance before. That's the thing. They didn't know what they were doing was having a negative impact on their lives.
That's what coaching does, because whatever we live in here, just because we live for so long, we assume it's the normal. And when
Yes.
non-judgmental, loving, supportive, empathetic, genuine cheerleader coming in to help
Yes,
this process of what's going on, you actually are able to assess if it's helping you or not.
exactly. So that's the power, isn't it? That is the power.
Jasmine, there's so many things, so many questions I still have, but I'm aware of the time. Now, from all the clients that you've worked with and future clients, if you would have the opportunity to share one message, it can be an advice, it can be a question, it can be anything that you would like to share with them, what would it be?
Be this trying to think of one message. I keep wanting to say just do it, but I know that's not really one message. I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think what message really.
Or maybe-
Sorry?
Or an advice that you have for them.
Take the first step. Take the first step. Do something. Take a step, whatever it is. Just do something. Do something different today. Whatever it is, whatever. Just do something different. One tiny thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what? I'll write it for myself too. That is very.
Me too. I should do that as well. I mean, I try. Yeah. But something small. Yeah.
Yeah, because we all are plagued with grandiosity and big ideas,
Yes.
big results and big goals, and we disqualify the small step.
Yes. Exactly. And that's what I learned this morning as well. Because I'm always thinking like, I want to start strength training, and I think about I need to plan going to the gym for an hour. And then my friend was like, just get some weights and do it at home for 15 minutes a day. And I was like, I never wanted to do that. I was like, actually, yeah, do the next best thing. It doesn't have to be the best thing, because sometimes we try to do the best thing and then we don't do anything because we can't. Do the next best thing.
That is so simple yet so powerful.
Yeah.
It has the power to change your life. Jasmine, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm always learning from you and looking up to you with your wealth of experience, your wide range of activities that you do in your coaching, in your business. Where can people find you? So before I ask my last question, where is the best place for people to connect with you?
Thanks, Leo. My LinkedIn, so just my name, Jasmine Navarro on LinkedIn, or with Nava, Nava, Instagram, website, but LinkedIn, I guess.
Yeah, great. And now, Jasmine, Nava, before we close, one question is, what is the vision for your coaching? What do you hold dear to yourself through your
What
coaching?
is the vision for my coaching? I just want to equip children and teenagers, parents, with key tools to effectively communicate and be emotionally aware, sorry, have emotional awareness. So emotional awareness and effective communication, I think, is something really important to have.
Yeah. And who knows,
That
maybe
doesn't really answer your question, does it? But yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah.
maybe with all the incredible work that you do currently in the UAE, and I know worldwide as well, with emotional awareness, maybe you could see this through on a bigger level, on a bigger scale, maybe in schools. And I know if that happens, you'd be a big part of that.
I would love that. Thanks, Leo. Yes.
Setting it in the universe.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. As always, you totally inspire me in every single way.
Thank you, Jasmine. I could say the same thing about you. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time. And for those watching, you'll have all the links on how to connect with Jasmine. And if you are on the fence, please do. Your life will transform. Thank you, Jasmine, so much. It was an absolute pleasure.
This recording was offered to you by Coach, a global community for coaching mastery.